Here is the answer to the last video's challenge question. For those of you who had good memories, you probably solved this. We covered this opening when in Chess in Progress Part 5 Openings Part 3. The link is in the description. The answer is, first we play d4. It does not matter whether he goes back with his bishop or simply just takes. Both of them are almost the same. Let's say he does take. Then we have the pawn on c3 here for backup. You might think that he can just take our pawn on d4, as there is only a knight on f3 defending it. But you should have looked carefully and saw that a queen was on d3, giving it more protection. Therefore, black is forced either to just take our pawn or move it back. Which, if it does so, we can just easily play d5. What this move does is it forks his knight and the bishop. He has no choice but to lose one of them. Whether he plays bishop to d7, saving his bishop, or a move like knight to b4 or something, he's gonna lose a bishop or a knight for a pawn. Now, bishops and knights are both worth 3 points, and a pawn is only worth 1. So, we are gaining 2 points. And this should be an easy to win situation. Today, I will be teaching you about pawn breakthroughs, which is a very important concept in the endgame. I will be showing you 4 examples, and as always, I will be giving you an end of video challenge question, which will be resolved in the next video. There are many factors which determine whether a position is really a pawn breakthrough. A pawn breakthrough is usually when there are the same amount of pawns that they are usually facing each other with one square between them and one-sided pawns. The white pawns or the black pawns are advanced to usually the 5th or 4th rank. Another factor is that the kings are usually far away, so that they won't be able to catch them. A pawn breakthrough also involves sacrificing some pawns to get 1 or 2 pawns to safely promote. Here is an example of one. Now, the kings are really far away from the pawns, and the pawns are facing each other. Now, they don't always have to, but usually it is. And there is one space separating them. Also, note that these 3 pawns, the white pawns, are on the 5th rank. So, a pawn breakthrough is bound to happen. Now, in this position, where 3 white pawns or black pawns, depending on the position, face 3 black pawns or white pawns, then it is crucial that the first move you play is g6. Why though? Why would I just sacrifice the pawn for nothing? Well, there is an evident answer. Whether he takes with the h-pawn or f-pawn, it doesn't matter. Let's just say this time he takes with the f-pawn. Now, this part is very crucial. If you get this part wrong, you may draw or lose. Now, the move you should play is h6. Why are we just sacrificing another pawn? The answer is again very clear. When he takes our h6 pawn, then our f pawn is free to promote. But if he does nothing, we can simply take his g pawn and promote. So when he takes, our pawn is 3 steps from promotion. But is that enough? Can the black king somehow miraculously catch up to our pawn and save it? Oh, the answer in this position is no. I'll be covering in a later position about this concept. It's called the promotion square. The number of squares it takes for the white pawn or black pawn to promote, in this case 3 squares, goes to the side on which the king is on. 3 squares. And it forms a square. If the king is not in the square, when the pawn moves, he will not be able to catch the pawn. And in this position, he clearly isn't. So he will not be able to catch our pawn. And we will promote to a queen and win this game easily. Now, what happened if instead here we had played f6? Well, that is a huge blunder, as when black takes our f-pawn, if he doesn't, we will obviously promote. When he does so, our h-pawn has no way of promoting, as these 2 pawns are guarding it too greatly. Now, if here we had just taken with the h-pawn or f-pawn, then it is a draw, as when he takes back, note that if he doesn't, we can play f6, then when he takes, we play g7 and g8 equals queen. Then after he takes, it will be a clear draw, as when black goes over to win our pawn, we can get the opposition and I hope you remember that it will be a draw. Now let me show you a position, but slightly different to this one, and also a pawn breakthrough. Do you see the difference? I hope you have, as I've added a pawn on e5 and e7. Can you identify whether this is a pawn breakthrough, even though I've already said so? Okay, it is a pawn breakthrough because there are the same number of pawns, 4 black pawns, 4 white pawns. All of the pawns are facing each other, though not all of them have to be, and there was 1 square separating the pawns. The white pawns have marched up to the 5th rank, and the kings are really far away. So, sacrifices are bound to happen. Now, in this position, there are many ways to win. For example, first, let's start from the right. If you play h6, and after he takes, we can play e6. Because when he takes back, we play f6. And when he takes back, we take. And there is a clear path to promotion. Now, let's go right at 1. Does g6 work though? The answer is yes, as after he plays h takes g6, or f takes g6, it doesn't matter, then we play h6. After he takes back, we play e6. This is very important, as when he takes back, we take the g-pawn and promote. If instead we had played f6, then that is a huge mistake. Because when he takes back, we don't have an extra pawn here to take the pawn and promote. So we have sacrificed 3 pawns for absolutely nothing. So we cannot do that. Now let's try f6. What happens after f6 is that after he takes, g takes or f takes, let's just pick g takes, then we play e6. Again, we have to play e6. After he takes, Then we play g6. And he has no way of preventing this pawn or that pawn from promoting. If he takes, we simply take back. h6 would also be fine, except that one queen would have to capture 4 pawns. And another one. Okay, now e6. After e6 and f takes e6, we play h6. What this move does is that no matter what this g pawn does, we get a promotion. If he plays g6, then we play f6. If he plays g takes h6, we also play f6. So there is no way he can win. If instead we had played a move like, also in this position, f6 works. f6, sorry. This is because after he takes with the g pawn, we can play here. But if he takes here instead, if he had taken with the f pawn, then we play h6. After he takes, we take here. So in this position, clearly white is winning. But have you considered if the king could catch up? Remember how I said about the promotion square? Yes, let's see. And you can do the calculating, but I can guarantee you that the black king cannot catch up, no matter what he does. Now I will be showing you another example, but this time not all the pawns are facing each other. In this position, you may have seen that I've moved the e pawn on e5 to d5. Does it still win? Of course it does. Now there are so many variations in this position that could win. I'll let you try all of them, but I will be going through the quickest one, which is f6. If he takes with this pawn, we take, and after he takes, our d pawn is free to go. If he takes with this pawn, obviously our pawn is free to go. And if he moves up, our pawn is free to go. And there is literally no other thing that black can do. So, since this variation was super quick, I'll be covering another one. The second fastest one, which is h6. After he takes, g takes h6, we play f6, and we distract this e7 pawn from guarding the d6 square, and therefore our white pawn on d5 will be free. Now I will be covering a very tricky position, but it is still a pawn breakthrough. Although this one looks very familiar to my first example, there is a huge difference. As you can see, I've moved the king on b3 and b5 respectively to c3 and c5. Now, there is still 3 pawns here. 3 pawns here. They're facing each other. There is one line behind them, and the white pawns are on their 5th rank. But there is a crucial difference. Black king is quite close. Now this time, we will be black trying to defend the white pawns from coming. Now, as I have taught you, g6 goes first. After he does so, this is a crucial move. We must take with the f6 pawn, or else we will definitely lose. After he plays h6 to sacrifice, we take. But notice the difference? That the promotion square is the same as last time, but instead, Black's king is in it. As long as it's in one of the corners or the edges, he's in it. And when we move up, he follows us. And we cannot safely promote. Then it is 3 pawns to nothing. So Black will win. But if instead we are not defended well and we are taken with this pawn, then there is a huge difference. Instead of going h6 this time, he can go f6. Now after we take, the promotion square is too far away for the king, and knight will easily promote. So when playing this position and after g6, always play f takes g6. Now obviously he cannot play h6 this time, so he will have to either take with the f pawn or h pawn. And after we take back and he takes back, it will be an easy draw. Now as you see on here, the analyze, it says 0.00, which means a draw. Now I will be giving you an end of video challenge question, which will always, as always, be resolved in the next video. Today, our challenge question will be a fun one. It is white to move, and white must checkmate all 10 black kings all in one move. Can you find a way to do so? This is a very fun puzzle, but it is a custom position, so you won't be running into this position anytime soon. That's it for today, and thank you for your time. If you enjoyed the content, please consider to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Thank you.